We're going to cover 10 different Xero shoes and Xero shoe sandals, which is weird to say, and do a speedy review to kind of give you an overview of my use, what I like, what I don't like. So let's dive in. While I'm filming this and posting this, Xero Shoes is running their biggest annual sale, so I wanted to give you a quick look at a lot of their different styles without going too in depth, which I do in a lot of other videos. Now, real quick, this is not a paid sponsorship from Xero Shoes. That being said, I am an affiliate with Xero Shoes as well as all the other major minimalist shoe companies, just because it's nice to get a kickback if someone decides to buy it through my link, which if you want to get one of these, you probably should, so you can support the channel and so I can keep buying a ridiculous amount of minimalist shoes. First, let's look at the Mesa Trail. As the name implies, this is one of their trail running shoes, so they have great lugs here on the bottom, really thin, really flat, really flexible. I love how lightweight it is, and I love that it fits your foot kind of like a sock, or if you've ever done Merrell trail gloves, it fits similar to that. So I love how it hugs your feet, especially on trail runs where there's a lot of sideways incline. It keeps it nice and firm and secure to your foot. It does have the Huarache style straps, which you can't see, but they are laid inside to get some more customized fitting around the midfoot as well. Really like these shoes. If I'm carrying a heavy pack, like if I'm backpacking, these aren't my choice. My main go-to for this is trail running and also just day hikes with the family, as long as again I'm not carrying a heavy pack with too many kids or too many snacks in it. So that is the Mesa Trail. Next, we have the Terraflex. This is their other trail shoe. You can see same sort of lugs on the bottom. This one is a little bit thicker, a little bit more robust, so it adds a bit more protection, if you will. There's really a lot of sharp, chossy ground, a lot of sharp rocks or scree. Sometimes I will go with these instead of the Mesa, just to have that extra bit of protection from those sharp rocks. And also if I'm doing any sort of heavy packing, like if I'm carrying a big backpack on the trail for backpacking, or if I'm doing like climbing with a long approach and I have a lot of gear, then I'll typically go with the Terraflex. Still a really good ground feel, but it does have that little extra thickness in the sole. It also doesn't quite fit like a glove like the Mesa does. It fits actually exactly like the Prio does, because they're the same shoe. This one just has lugs on the bottom. So speaking of the Prio, this is one of their most popular shoes. I like this one for around town. I wear it at work a lot. It's thin without being too thin, so I still am comfortable wearing this when I'm running on concrete, which I rarely do. But also if I'm working on my feet all day on a hard surface in one of my offices in particular in a climbing gym, I'm on my feet working on people, helping them out. But this is a little bit thicker than some other things like their minimalist sandals, and I do like that because it just adds an extra layer between my foot and a hard artificial surface. Pro tip, if you want something thinner, you can take the 2mm insole out, and that gives you a much better ground feel, which I do kind of depending on my mood. Great shoe, I like these a lot. That is the Prio. Next we have the Hana. This is a great casual shoe. I don't wear a lot of casual shoes, even though I have a lot right here. I typically prefer to wear athletic shoes, so these were weird to me at first because they don't fit like an athletic shoe. They still have the great wide toe box, but they don't hug your foot quite as much. You can't perform as well in it if you're running around, obviously, because it's a casual shoe. I occasionally wear them for work, or if I want something that looks a little bit nicer, if I'm going out to eat or church or anything like that, I'll grab these and put these on as well. But don't expect them to feel like you're wearing the Prio or one of their other athletic shoes, because once again, these are a casual shoe. Speaking of casual shoes, this one, the Pacifica, is unfortunately discontinued, but this is my other go-to work shoe. And it's made out of wool, as you can see, super light, really thin, flexible, and it feels like you're wearing a slipper. And honestly, it kind of looks like you're wearing a slipper, but I can get away with that. So I do like these a whole lot. They are discontinued, but you might be able to find them from a third-party outfitter. They are a little bit warm because they're wool. So if you live in a hot climate, like I used to live in Florida, probably wouldn't get these, but here in Colorado, it's nice to have something a little extra warm, and they're just fun to wear because, again, they feel like a slipper at work. Next is another discontinued shoe. It's the Bodhi. I wanted to like these more than I actually liked them. They felt a little bit thick and clunky. and I didn't love that. I do have a soft spot in my heart for boat shoes though, because one of my first jobs was sailing boats. So I do still like these. At the end of the day though, they're discontinued. I wouldn't go through the effort of seeking them out because there are better casual options, like the Hana that we looked at a second ago. Okay, why did I put these Prios up here? Oh yeah, don't kickflip in Prios because it will destroy them unless you already have a second pair, in which case, destroy away, go for it. Their winter boot, the Denver. I really like these for around town. I like them for casual use. I like them for work if it's really snowy outside and I need to get in and out of my office. I didn't love these actually on the trail because they're a little bit thicker than I wanted, but most notably, this area, it doesn't allow great dorsiflexion, so bringing your knee forward. Now, if you already don't have great dorsiflexion, if your knee's not going past your toes, it really doesn't matter for you. But because that is something I train a lot, and I really like having that mobility when I'm going up especially steep incline, I didn't love these for trails. Now, the caveat there is I'm actually going to try this season using these with my snowshoes, which I haven't done before, and I think I'll actually like the extra stiffness in my snowshoe. But again, all that being said, great, really warm, casual shoe for around town when it is snowy and slushy and just kind of nasty outside. So I do really like the Denver boot, just not as much for the trails. On to sandals. DIY sandals. I really like these. They have, as the name implies, complete customizability. Is that a word? I don't know, but you can customize them fully. If you do decide to get these, I recommend spending the extra couple bucks to get the heel strap kit and the toe strap kit, or toe pole, one of those things. But it just makes the whole feel a bit more comfortable instead of just having the paracord digging into your Achilles tendon. And this is a little bit flatter than sometimes the knot if you tie it on the bottom. But there's an infinite way you can lace these. They're a lot of fun to play with, just to kind of find the right fit, right feel, right style for you. So I do really like the Xero DIY sandals. That being said, they're incredibly thin, they're incredibly flexible. So if you're brand new to minimalist footwear, really make sure you ease into these. The other only downside of this is they look kind of like a DIY sandal, at least when I do it. So it doesn't have the clean cut look that some of their other sandals have. But I really do like these for wearing around the yard for casual hikes. But if I'm putting any serious miles in, I don't love these for that, but that's just my personal preference. Some people love taking these for 100-mile runs. I'm just not one of those guys. Okay, that's the DIY sandal. Next we have the ZTrack. I wanted to love these sandals. I really like the look of these sandals, but at the end of the day, I really don't care for them. The heel cup seems like a great idea, but I don't like that it overweights the back of the sandal because it just leaves the whole thing feeling unbalanced to me, which I didn't really care for. I liked the strapping system in that it's thicker than some of the paracord options, of course, so it doesn't dig into your skin as much. But my biggest dislike about this sandal is the way the strap system works is this has to hug either this part of your pinky toe or right on the bone, neither of which allow a full toe splay. And I did not like that at all. That was pretty much a deal breaker for me for putting any real miles on these. So these are now my go-to car sandals. I keep them in my truck because occasionally I forget to wear shoes when I go out in public. Next we have the Speed Force and the Colorado. These I haven't worn. My wife actually owns these, and so I'm going to give you her 2 cents on those. First, we have the Colorado. This is great for creek stomping. We've got little kids, so we're always playing in the creeks around here. She really liked how it's a solid fit all the way around. Unlike a sandal, you're not sliding around in them because it locks you in place really nicely. It's got the elastic strap system, which is really handy for tightening them. They have good tread and traction when they're wet. They're of course very wide toe box, zero drop, all of those good things. So she really loves these for summertime when she's getting in and out of the water with the kids, playing in the creek, or if it's really rainy. These are kind of her go-tos, and she really does enjoy these. Her biggest negative, she said, was that they didn't come in more colors, so take that for what it's worth. Lastly, we have the Speed Force. I actually just ordered a pair of these myself. These are going to be incredibly thin, incredibly light, incredibly flexible. And my wife said, yeah, these are hands down the lightest shoe that I've ever worn. That can be both a pro and a con depending on how experienced you are and what your preferences are for footwear. She loves wearing these as a workout shoe. She loves them on the treadmill and trail running. However, she does not like wearing these when she's running on concrete. She much prefers having something with a little bit more thickness, a little bit more cushion, kind of along the lines of the Prio that I was talking about earlier, because it is just a little bit too much impact for her feet, but that comes down to a personal preference. All that being said, incredibly light, thin, and flexible, and I'm excited to get my pair as well. And in conclusion, if I were to only buy one pair of these shoes, I would go with the Terraflex. Now, why? Because in my opinion, it's the most versatile for my personal preferences and my uses. It's thick enough where I'm comfortable wearing them running on concrete or spending my day on concrete, although it will wear out the lugs, but we're talking, hey, if you're just gonna buy one shoe. It has the great lugs for trail running, for hiking, for backpacking when I'm carrying a heavy pack. It has that extra thickness, like I said. And lastly, I actually use these in the snow a decent amount because of the good lugs. They are by no means waterproof, so I always pair them with smart wool socks, and that keeps my feet happy as long as I'm not spending more than 3 or 4 hours out in the snow. So if I had to pick one, I'd go with the Terraflex, but that's just me. If you already own a bunch of Xeros, let me know what your number one go-to is down in the comments. And if you don't, please consider buying from my affiliate links. It really helps out the channel so I can keep buying a crazy amount of minimalist shoes and telling you all about them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.